done that already.
Okay.
I've done that already.
Okay, you can continue the class.
So we are discussing about the factors of production. And under the factors of production, we are talking about those things that you put together in order to make productivity work out. Like talking about the land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Those are the 4 factors that you join together in order to make productivity work. So we've explained the land aspect of it, which is talking about the natural resources. That means those resources extracted from the ground in order to produce goods and services. And I've also explained the labor aspect of it. That means the efforts that laborers put in place in order to produce the goods and services. So what we are explaining now currently is talking about the capital being the money used to start business. And it's strictly not just the money used in starting the business alone. Capital is embedded with the equipment. That means other machine that you make use of, you join together in order to commence to make the productivity activity work out very well. So for the product to work out, for you to produce the goods, you have to use that money in order to buy the equipment, get the machine. So those machines, they are inclusive, they are embedded in the aspect of the capital, in the definition of the capital. Those are the things that you embedded, you put together in order to start the business. They are embedded together. So that's the capital aspect of it. So if we are going to move from the capital to the entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is talking about the brain behind the business. It's not just the person that is doing the business alone. It's all about the brain behind it. Who are those people? The management that brought up the idea. Because you can have the money, have the land, have the workers, that's the laborers, without getting the concept behind it, without getting what to do. So many people have this money now, but they don't know how to make use of it. How effective to make use of it effectively, to use it to the best level. So that's entrepreneurship. The person that is controlling it, that is bringing out the idea, that's what the entrepreneurship is all about. So it's not specifically for the person that established the business. You can establish the business, which you are the entrepreneur, but you might not even have the full idea. You can say, okay, someone else can come to you and say, okay, Mr. David, want to do this business together. I have the idea. I have this and that. David has the idea. He has the brain behind it. But the person might be the person that just drop the capital and go. So you use it to do the business. It's David that we are going to put and say, okay, David is the entrepreneurship because he's brought up the idea. He's one that established it, not the source of money. You can go to bank and borrow money to establish the business, but the idea, you can't go to bank to borrow it. You have to do research for the idea. So, and there is a reward for it. There's profit. The profit you are getting will go back to the entrepreneur. That means the person establishing the business. That's the reward for it. And the reward for capital is interest. That means the way to get. For instance, if you go to bank borrow money now, you have to pay interest on it. That's the reward for it. That's the benefit you are getting back from the capital. The same thing goes with the other factors of production, the land, that's rent, the labor, that's the wages, the capital, interest, and the reward for entrepreneurship is profit. Those key reward aspect of it is very important. That is one thing that you have to pay attention to. So let's move on to the characteristics of each of these factors of production. Talking about the characteristics, we are talking about the features, those things that you have to see in them in order to say, okay, this one is what we refer to as the labor, All this is what we refer to as the capital, or this is what we refer to as the entrepreneurship. We pick it one after the other. Let's look at the land. The land aspect of the crisis is that it has to be a natural resources, something that is free. It's a free gift. It doesn't move. It's immobile. How do I mean? How do I mean that it is immobile? Land, it doesn't move from one jurisdiction to another. It's stationed at a point at a particular place. It doesn't increase in size because the number of lands, there is no way you cannot expand it. You can only buy it, and if you are buying it, it's still the same land. It's just the exchange of the control of the land. Then if you are talking about the free nature, free gift, it's God, it's Almighty God that gave us the land. It's not made by anybody, it's not man-made. So if you are saying something that is not man-made, you are referring to the land. It's a free gift, free natural resources. Then labor is the characteristics of labor I'm talking about is mobile. Laborers move from one place to another. Mr. A can decide to change or to pick laborer 1 and make use of that labor, and the laborers get to another point and work for another person again within the course of 2 hours or 3 hours after working for this person. Is a movable items. And laborers, they have a time whereby you just have to, they are payable. They are human beings that you have to pay them. We don't classify the laborers that sit down at home without doing anything, or the laborers that is working for himself. If you are doing something for yourself, or you are doing something that nobody is paying you for, that one cannot be classified under the labor that we are talking about here. The laborer must be earnable. That means they have to earn something. They have to get something. That's when you can classify it as a labor. A housewife that is not earning something from the husband is not labor. It's not doing labor activity. But if the housewife is working at home and the housewife is earning something, maybe they are producing something, or they are giving lecture, or they are teaching children at home, and the husband say, okay, please, wife, I want you to stay at home to teach or to lecture our kids. So, and I'll be paying you for that. That one we classify under the labor. But if the husband is okay, let's teach your kids at home, this and that, but he's not going to pay for it. We are not going to classify it under labor. It has to be the effort that is payable, that we earn something from, not just ordinary effort that you put in place without anything from it. Then, and the other aspect is the capital. Capital is the man-made. It's the resources that man created, that man generates. Unlike the land, that is not man-made. So it's the resources that we extract, we work for, like money is man-made. Man that will contribute that one, that will put his own money there. The machine we are talking about is man-made. It's the machine that someone has produced, that you have to go ahead and use it to buy the machine in order to do the business. The raw material we are talking about, that I want to use that money to buy, is also a man-made. Capital, capital has to get its own reward. That means the capital can come from the bank, it can come from any other commercial activity, it can come from any other sector, but the reward has to be there. So then if you are not talking about the entrepreneur, that's the entrepreneurship, it's talking about the brain boss, the person behind the growth of the business. So in that situation, one of the most important thing or the characteristics behind that one is that it has to be initiator, the person that initiates the idea, the person that creates the idea. Then the entrepreneurship is a mobile, is a movable exchange based on the timing, based on the economy activity to another. A new idea can be created. They can generate idea in the course of traveling, in the course of anything. They get idea from that point. They make use of it, initiate it. That's the entrepreneurship aspect of it. At this point, I don't know if anybody have question to ask. Not the same person that creates it. That means the founder of it. That means if you're talking about the entrepreneur, you're talking about the person that initiated the idea, the creator of the idea, the developer of the idea. But if you are talking about the entrepreneurship, the entrepreneur is embedded inside the entrepreneurship because it's talking about the idea itself, the concept itself, not the person now. The concept in it, the way the things, all those things going to work, and those people managing it, how are they managing it? That's when it discusses about the entrepreneurship aspect of it.
Thank you.
Any other question?
No, not an Right.
So, in the absence of no question, I would like to revise what we did and then round up the class here. It's discuss about the factor of production, and under the factors of production, we have land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Those are the 4 factors of production. And there is reward for each of them. The reward for land is rent. The reward for capital is interest. The reward for labor is wages, while the reward for entrepreneurship is this thing, profits. Those are the rewards for them. I also spoke about the characteristics of each of those factors of production. So by our next class, we are going to discuss about the economic system. In the aspect of the economic system, we'll be talking about the capitalist, socialist. We'll be discussing about them, discussing about the mixed system. So
Hello.